By the time the last outer disciple placed his hand on the spirit root pillar, the square no longer belonged to the test. It belonged to Lin Fan's result. Low-grade roots came and went. Mid-grade roots drew murmurs that faded quickly. One disciple with a surprisingly clear metal root received a ration upgrade, but even his friends congratulated him with half their attention turned toward the thin figure standing near the edge of the crowd. Lin Fan did nothing to invite attention. That made it harder to stop watching him. He stood with his hands inside his sleeves, gaze lowered, posture neither proud nor frightened. The morning sun reached him fully now, revealing the paleness of his face. Several disciples noticed and whispered that he must be injured. Others said root contamination could make anyone look sick. A few insisted he had used a trick. None of them said that loudly with Elder Gu still near the pillar. Elder Gu was no longer pretending this was an ordinary test. He completed each remaining reading with efficiency, but after every 2 or 3 names, his eyes returned to the lower channel of the spirit root pillar. Once, he sent a faint pulse through the base array again, checking whether any residue remained. It did not. That seemed to irritate him more than if it had. A residue that vanished completely after resisting cleansing was harder to explain. From the eastern pavilion, a second elder arrived. He was not announced. He simply walked down the side steps with a steward half a pace behind him, moving slowly enough that all disciples saw him and quickly lowered their heads. His robe was darker than Elder Gu's, the cuffs embroidered with the azure cloud sex intermountain pattern. His hair was white, but his face held the tight, preserved look of someone whose cultivation had slowed age without softening it. No name was spoken. Lin Fan did not need one. In his first life, this elder had been irrelevant to him for years, one of many inner administrators whose faces blurred behind the greater humiliations of the outer mountain. Later, when Lin Fan rose, he learned that such men decided more fates than the famous sword geniuses did. They managed rations, assignments, punishments, and quiet transfers. They noticed profit that did not yet deserve ceremony. The white-haired elder stopped beside Elder Gu. They spoke through transmitted chi. Lin Fan could not hear the words with his current cultivation. He read what he could. Elder Gu gestured once toward the pillar base. The white-haired elder's gaze moved to Lin Fan. Too long. Lin Fan lowered his breathing until his chest barely moved. Do not look like prey. Do not look like challenge. Look like an uncertain asset. The white-haired elder looked away first, turning back to the pillar. He placed his palm against the black stone and sent chi through the silver veins. Unlike Elder Gu's narrow thread, this chi spread in a broadsheet, checking the array's overall condition. The pillar hummed. No abnormal light appeared. The elder frowned. Elder Gu said something through transmission. The white-haired elder's brows lifted slightly. He looked at Lin Fan again. The crowd sensed the exchange even without hearing it. Heads lowered further. No one whispered now. Outer disciples understood that when elders spoke silently, ordinary mouths should remain closed. Lin Fan felt the observer's ring stir. Faint. Almost nothing. The colorless trace had remained quiet through pain, mockery, and the pillar's abnormal reaction. It stirred now because elder attention altered future variables. Observation of observation. The thing beyond the world watched how a small sect processed a contradiction. Lin Fan gave it nothing extra. The final disciple finished with a low-grade fire root and stepped down quickly. The steward closed the register. Elder Gu lifted his hand. The spirit root test is complete. The square remains silent. Those assigned new ration status will report to the outer storehouse after noon. Those assigned duties will receive instructions from stewards before sunset. Anyone who disputes the record may file a petition and lose 3 months of rations when the petition fails. No one breathed loudly. Dismissed by Ro. The words should have released the crowd. Instead, no one moved at first. Everyone wanted to see whether Lin Fan would be kept behind immediately. Elder Gu understood that. His eyes hardened. I said dismissed. The first row scattered. Movement returned in waves. Disciples stepped off the square, speaking in low bursts once distance gave them courage. Some looked at Lin Fan openly now. Others avoided his gaze as if abnormal root contamination could spread by eye contact. Xianxia did not move. His followers shifted beside him. "Senior brother Zhang," one whispered, "we should go." Xianxia ignored him. His stare remained fixed on Lin Fan. Lin Fan looked toward Elder Gu, not Xianxia. This also mattered. If he focused on Xianxia now, their conflict would define the moment. If he focused on the elders, he remained connected to the abnormal result. Xianxia would feel himself shrink by comparison. Elder Gu spoke to the white-haired elder again through transmission. The steward with the register stood rigidly nearby, brush tucked behind one ear, trying not to look overwhelmed by the extra notes on Lin Fan's record. Finally, Elder Gu turned. "Lin Fan." The square's remaining movement slowed. Lin Fan stepped forward and bowed. The motion pulled at his root junction. Pain flashed hot. He kept the bow precise. "Disciple is here." The white-haired elder studied him at close range. "You are from East Lower Quarter?" "Yes, elder." "How long have you been in the sect?" 3 years. "Previous evaluations?" "No formal spirit root test since entry." That was also true. Entry screenings for poor outer recruits were crude, performed by stewards with minor sensing stones, not the formal pillar. Lin Fan's low potential had been assumed early and never examined properly. The white-haired elder glanced at Elder Gu. "Any record of illness?" The steward flipped through the bamboo register too quickly and nearly dropped it. "No major illness recorded." "Minor injuries, missed ration collection twice last winter, one complaint filed yesterday." Xianxia stiffened again. The white-haired elder's gaze sharpened. "Complaint?" The steward swallowed. "A meal hall dispute. Dismissed by junior steward." "Who dismissed it?" The steward named the junior steward. Lin Fan stored that. Useful. In the first life, that junior steward had been invisible. Now his negligence had entered an elder's ear because Lin Fan's result made the old bruise relevant. Small changes beginning already. Elder Gu looked at Lin Fan's sleeve. "Show your arm." Xianghu's face changed. Lin Fan hesitated for the correct length of time, then pulled back his left sleeve. The 3-finger bruise was dark against the skin. The square inhaled. Not because the injury was severe. Because it now belonged to a disciple marked for later examination. Yesterday, the same bruise had meant weakness. Today, it could mean someone had damaged sect property before its value was assessed. Xianxia understood the change. His lips parted, but no defense came out. The white-haired elder's expression remained cold. "Who did this?" Lin Fan lowered his eyes. "Do not accuse too quickly. Let silence point." The silence lasted 2 breaths. Then Xianxia spoke. "Elder, it was a small exchange. I did not know his root was." He stopped. Too late. Several disciples looked at him. Elder Gu turned his head slowly. "I did not ask you." It was the second time that sentence had been spoken that morning. This time, it landed harder. Xianxia bowed hurriedly. "Disciple was wrong." "Were you?" The white-haired elder's voice was soft. Xianxia froze. "Yes." Disciple was impulsive. Impulsive enough to injure another disciple the day before the spirit root test. Xianghu's forehead began to shine with sweat. Disciple did not intend to affect the test. That was not the question. Lin Fan watched without expression. This punishment was not his main objective, but it was useful. Xianxia had built his standing on being untouchable within the outer quarter. Elder attention placed a crack through that image. Whether punishment followed or not, others had seen the crack. The white-haired elder looked at Lin Fan. "Did the injury affect your circulation during the test?" Lin Fan could make Xianxia suffer with one answer. He considered it. If he said yes, Xianxia might lose rations or training yard access. That would satisfy the crowd and create immediate fear. But it would also give the elders a reason to retest Lin Fan later under controlled conditions, expecting a clearer result after injury recovery. Too much scrutiny too soon. If he said no, Xianxia escaped too cleanly. Choose the middle. Disciple cannot judge, Lin Fan said. There was pain, but the root pain was different. Elder Gu's eyes moved slightly. Good. The answer preserved ambiguity. Xianxia did not know whether to feel relieved. The white-haired elder said, Xianxia, your West Training Yard access is suspended until this matter is reviewed. Xianghu's face went pale. Elder. Elder Gu's gaze cut him silent. You will report to the discipline steward after noon, the white-haired elder continued. If the meal hall complaint was mishandled, others will be questioned as well. The crowd absorbed that with visible shock. A dismissed complaint reopening because Lin Fan's route became abnormal. The hierarchy had shifted in a way they could understand. Lin Fan lowered his sleeve. Pain pulsed under the skin. The white-haired elder turned back to him. As for you, you will report to the side hall for examination. There it was. Lin Fan bowed. Disciple understands. The elder's gaze sharpened, perhaps expecting fear, hope, or resistance. Lin Fan gave him a controlled mixture of fatigue and obedience. The white-haired elder looked dissatisfied. People disliked expressions they could not profit from. Elder Gu said, You will wait here until the pillar record is sealed. Yes, Elder. Agreement again. Not decision. The elders turned back to the spirit root pillar. The remaining disciples were finally driven from the square by stewards. But they left slowly, carrying the morning's new shape with them. That shape changed as it passed from mouth to mouth. Near the lower stairs, someone whispered that Lin Fan had hidden a mid-grade root for 3 years. Another said impossible, hidden roots did not look poisoned. A third insisted the pillar had broken because of the high-grade water root before him. Someone else claimed Xianxu's injury yesterday had triggered the abnormality. That version spread fastest because it gave everyone a person to blame and a punishment to anticipate. By the time the first cluster reached the path toward the outer quarters, the story had 3 endings. Lin Fan was secretly talented. Lin Fan was diseased. Lin Fan was cursed by someone else's interference. All 3 were wrong. All 3 were useful. Wrong explanations were not obstacles if they ran in directions one had chosen. Secret talent would make weaker disciples hesitate. Disease would make careless contact less likely. Outside interference would make elders examine the kitchens, stewards, and yesterday's incident before they examined the impossible truth. The rumors were crude, but crude tools could still break locks when applied with timing. Lin Fan heard enough to confirm the spread, then stopped listening. Pain demanded attention again. The root junction throbbed with a deep, swollen heat. The dormant poison ring had begun pressing against the newly carved mark. If the mark closed before he stabilized it, the morning's suffering would leave only a temporary public result and no true foundation path. That would be unacceptable. He needed to move. Not yet. The elders still believed he would remain where they placed him. That belief had to hold for a little longer. The white-haired elder circled the pillar once. He did not touch it at first. He inspected the base, the silver veins, the surface where Lin Fan's hand had rested, and the lower channel Elder Gu had mentioned through transmission. His caution told Lin Fan something important: the elder did not fully trust the pillar anymore. Good. Distrust of the instrument complicated distrust of the disciple. If the pillar was unreliable, Lin Fan could not be blamed for every irregularity. If the pillar was reliable, Lin Fan's root had done something impossible. The elders would debate between those explanations because each protected a different pride. Elder Gu wanted the pillar reliable, it was part of his administrative domain. The white-haired elder wanted the event explainable, it had occurred under sect supervision. While they protected pride, Lin Fan would protect time. The steward beside the register read Lin Fan's note twice, lips moving silently. Wood root. Contaminated. Unstable mid-grade response. Abnormal residue. Later examination. Each phrase was a small gate. Wood root allowed assignment to herb-related duties. Contaminated allowed access to treatment. Unstable mid-grade response justified improved rations. Abnormal residue justified investigation of the pillar and the environment. Later examination postponed final judgment. Postponement was a treasure. Most disciples wanted immediate recognition. Lin Fan wanted delay. Delay gave him room to act before the sect decided what cage fit him best. The white-haired elder finally touched the pillar. Pale chi spread beneath his palm, finer than elder gauze and colder in texture. It entered the silver veins without triggering the visible glow, moving through diagnostic channels reserved for maintenance rather than testing. The pillar responded with a low vibration. Lin Fan listened with more than ears. The vibration traveled through the platform stones and reached the soles of his feet. The pattern confirmed the lower delay again, half a breath under ordinary pull, slightly longer under broad inspection. The inferior repair metal had not been replaced in at least 20 years. Whoever maintained the pillar had done enough to keep it functioning and not enough to make it precise. That negligence had helped him today. Later, it might help him again. If the sect blamed part of the abnormality on the pillar, they would repair it. Before that happened, Lin Fan needed to extract all remaining advantage from its flaw. A retest under a repaired pillar would be harder to manipulate. A retest before repair could be used. He added another item to the next 3 days. Learn when the pillar maintenance would occur. If possible, influence who performed it. If impossible, sabotage the repair before it became useful to others. A flawed tool in enemy hands was a danger. A flawed tool whose flaw he understood was an opportunity. He preferred opportunities no one respected. They were cheaper to take. Outer disciples chased obvious rewards because obvious rewards could be shown to others. Better rooms, brighter robes, louder titles, visible ration tokens. Lin Fan's first rewards would be different: an unguarded corridor, a flawed pillar, a nervous steward, a rumor with 3 wrong explanations. None looked impressive. All could be spent. Lin Fan stood near the platform, sleeve covering the bruise, root burning beneath calm skin. Behind lowered eyes, he counted exits.